Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving headfirst into a topic that's just absolutely vital for our digital world,
Hmm.
the Global Intrusion Detection and Prevention Systems, or IDPS market.
Right, IDPS. Crucial stuff.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to, unpack a really comprehensive market forecast report. We want to pull out the most important trends, the key projections.
Basically give you the highlights.
Yeah, give you a real shortcut to being well informed on this. Well, it's really a foundational layer of our digital future, isn't it?
It really is. Foundational.
Our source today gives us a detailed look, year-wise, revenue trends, different regions, countries, plus those projected annual growth rates, the KGRs.
Got it. So lots of data to dig into.
Plenty. Okay, let's unpack this.
All right.
So kicking us off, the sheer scale and the growth path for the IDPS market globally. It's pretty remarkable.
Hmm.
In 2021, global sales revenue was already nearly $10 billion.
Already a big number.
But here's the real story. It's projected to climb to over $12.8 billion by 2025. Okay. And then really soar, hitting almost $22 billion by 2033.
Wow, nearly doubling again in those 8 years.
Exactly. That's a robust global compound annual growth rate, CAGR, of just under 7%, 6.879% to be precise, over this whole forecast period.
What's fascinating here, I think, is that this isn't just, steady incremental growth.
Hmm.
It feels more significant.
Right.
This consistent, pretty significant expansion, it suggests a real fundamental shift in how organizations everywhere are thinking about and, well, investing in cybersecurity.
Yeah.
It's a clear sign. I mean, as our digital lives get more complex, more integrated, these advanced security measures like IDPS, they're moving from nice to have to, well, absolutely essential.
Absolutely essential. Couldn't agree more. So, okay, the global market's booming, but who's leading the charge here?
Right, the regional breakdown.
Yeah, in this race to secure our digital future. And what does that leadership tell us about where the investment focus is? Unsurprisingly, perhaps, North America holds the top spot.
As often is the case in tech.
It accounted for roughly a third of the whole global market back in 2021, generating over $3.6 billion.
Okay.
And this is projected to grow substantially, pushing towards $7.6 billion almost by 2033. That's an annual growth rate, a CAGR, just over 6.4%.
Still very solid growth, even from a large base.
Definitely. And within North America, while the U.S. is, predictably the biggest piece of that pie,
Sure.
projected to reach over 6.1 billion itself by 2033. What's quite interesting is the growth in its neighbors.
Ah, Canada and Mexico.
Exactly. Canada, for instance, it's projected to more than double its market size, from just under 400 million in 2021 to almost 900 million by 2033.
Okay, that's significant growth.
It is. That's an impressive annual growth rate, over 7.1%.
Higher than the U.S. rate, interesting.
Yeah. And Mexico is also a key player, expected to grow its market from around 280 million to over 600 million in that same time frame, with a solid CAGR of nearly 6.0%.
So North America's sustained leadership in IDPS isn't accidental, right? It's likely a mix of factors.
What do you think there?
Well, firstly, the region has historically been, right at the forefront of digital innovation and adoption,
Right.
which inherently just expands the attack surface. Think about the sheer volume of data, cloud services, all those interconnected devices.
More targets.
Exactly. Secondly, there's a pretty mature regulatory landscape there.
Yeah.
Things that often mandate robust cybersecurity practices, basically compelling organizations to invest.
Compliance driving investment.
Correct. And finally, you see significant investments from both public and private sectors in really cutting-edge security tech. That definitely sets the pace.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's the North American picture. But how do other, mature digital economies stack up? Let's turn our gaze to Europe.
Okay, Europe.
The IDPS market there is also seeing substantial growth, though maybe with some interesting nuances. Europe's market is set to expand from roughly 2.3 billion, let's say, in 2021, to nearly 4.8 billion by 2033. So maintaining a steady annual growth rate, quite similar to North America, actually, around 6.4, 6.5%.
Okay, consistent growth there too.
Very consistent. And looking at specific countries, the UK is progressing steadily, expected to reach over 700 million by 2033, annual growth just over 6.8%.
Right.
Germany, however, is showing even stronger momentum. It's projected to grow faster, over 7.1% annually,
Oh, interesting.
aiming for more than $1 billion by 2033. France is climbing too, though maybe a touch slower, around 5.9% CAGR.
Still growing healthily, though.
Oh, yeah. And it's worth noting, countries like Italy, Spain, even smaller markets like Sweden, Denmark, they're all contributing significantly. They have their own healthy annual growth rates, mostly in the 5 to 7% range. Spain's actually quite high at 6.8%.
Europe presents a fascinating case because it's such a diverse digital landscape.
How so?
Well, you've got some countries that are definite digital frontrunners, but others are catching up really fast. The growth here feels very much influenced by things like the huge adoption of cloud computing, that big push for digital transformation across all sorts of industries.
Right.
And, of course, those stringent data privacy regulations, like GDPR, that really compels organizations to bolster their security.
GDPR's impact again.
Absolutely. And Germany's strong performance you mentioned, that often reflects its really robust industrial digitalization efforts, Industry 4.0 and all that.
Got it. Okay, now, here's where, as the report suggests, it gets really interesting. Asia Pacific.
The growth engine.
Truly powerful momentum, positioning itself as a global growth powerhouse. This region is expanding from about $2.5 billion in 2021 to an astonishing $6.2 billion nearly by 2033.
Wow, that's a huge leap.
It is. And this represents a blistering annual growth rate of almost 7.8%. That's one of the highest globally.
Yes, significantly higher than North America or Europe.
Definitely. Now, zooming in on the growth engines within Asia Pacific, China's market, it's scaling impressively, projected to more than double to over $1.8 billion by 2033.
Big numbers.
With an annual growth rate nearing 8%. But while China's market is massive, what's truly striking is India's even faster growth.
Oh, really? Faster than China?
Yeah. It's projected to nearly triple its market size, hitting over $848 million by 2033. The annual growth rate there topping 8.7%.
8.755%.
Wow. That is striking. What specific factors might be driving that heightened demand, making India such a surprising powerhouse in this space?
That's the question.
Well, that's a critical observation. The rapid growth in Asia-Pacific, and particularly in a place like India, it has profound implications. I mean, many countries in this region aren't just, doing digital transformation. They're living through a digital revolution. In India, for example, you're seeing these massive digital inclusion initiatives.
Right, getting everyone online.
Widespread adoption of mobile tech for literally everything, payments, education, healthcare, and this huge surge in e-commerce.
Okay.
All that creates this vast new landscape for potential cyber threats, which, in turn, drives this urgent, almost imperative need for robust IDPS solutions.
So necessity is driving the growth. Absolutely. These markets are, in many ways, leapfrogging older tech. They're building digital infrastructure almost from scratch, and security is increasingly baked in, or needs to be. The sheer scale of economic and digital activity, plus emerging regulations, it just makes this region a crucial accelerator for the whole global market.
Makes sense. Leapfrogging, that's a good way to put it. And it's not just China and India, right? Japan, South Korea, Australia, Singapore, Southeast Asia, Taiwan. They're all showing consistent growth, too.
Yeah, the report shows KGRs ranging from about 6.8% in Australia up to a very high 8.4% across Southeast Asia. So broad strengths across the region.
Right. So to truly round out the global picture, let's broaden our scope one last time to the remaining regions. Just shows how global this market expansion really is.
Right.
South America, for example, poised for significant growth. Market expected to more than double, hitting over $1.4 billion by 2033. That's a healthy annual growth rate over 7.1%. And countries like Brazil and Argentina are really leading that charge down there. Argentina's CAGR is actually over 7.6%.
Strong growth there, too.
Then you have the Middle East, also on a significant upward path, climbing from nearly $500 million in 2021 to over $1 billion, $1.1 billion almost, by 2033.
Okay.
Reflects a healthy annual growth rate just over 7%, again, with key countries in the region showing consistent expansion.
A lot of digital transformation happening there as well.
Definitely. And finally, Africa rounds out the global picture. Its markets growing from just over $300 million in 2021 to nearly $700 million by 2033. That's an annual growth rate of over 6.4%.
Yep.
South Africa and Nigeria are particularly prominent drivers for that regional growth. both with KGRs around 6.6 to 7.1%.
So growth really is everywhere.
It is. So, okay, we've covered a lot of impressive numbers, regional dynamics, but let's zoom out again. What's the fundamental story here? I mean, are these regional growths driven by the exact same forces everywhere? Or are there unique underlying factors playing out differently in, say, Asia-Pacific compared to North America? Why is this IDPS market seeing such robust growth across every single region?
Right, connecting the dots. Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this global expansion, it's not happening in a vacuum, right? And while there are definitely universal drivers, those regional nuances we talked about are key.
Okay.
Universally, though, it's being driven by, I'd say, three critical forces. Firstly, there's just this immense, ever-increasing demand for cybersecurity infrastructure, period.
Just more stuff needs protecting.
Exactly.
Yes.
Everything from your personal data to, national security relies on digital systems that are just constantly under attack. That's baseline.
Right.
Secondly, the accelerating pace of digital transformation. More businesses, more government services, moving online, moving to the cloud. That just inherently creates new vulnerabilities. And IDPS are specifically designed to detect and protect against those very things.
So digital transformation equals more need for IDPS.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And thirdly, there are just rising concerns generally over data integrity and safety. That's pushing organizations and even regulators to demand more investment in preventing and detecting intrusions.
Okay, so demand, digital transformation, and data concerns.
Those are the big three globally. And what's crucial for you listening to consider is how these huge macro trends directly impact your own daily digital life. Online banking, remote work, shopping,
everything.
and how they collectively shape the broader global economy and really our collective digital future. It's all interconnected.
What a deep dive. That really covers the numbers and the forces behind them. So the core takeaway seems crystal clear. The intrusion detection and prevention systems market, it's poised for steady, significant growth everywhere. And this isn't just about, financial figures on a report. It's really a testament to its absolutely critical and ever-increasing role in this digital world we all live in.
Absolutely.
Understanding these market dynamics, I think, is just key to being well-informed about where digital security is heading.
Couldn't agree more. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given this immense financial growth projected for IDPS, consider this. What previously unforeseen or maybe underappreciated cyber threats, or perhaps even entirely new digital technologies we haven't even fully grasped yet, what might emerge in the coming decade that could either dramatically accelerate this growth even further or maybe fundamentally reshape this whole market trajectory we've just discussed?
That's a great question. Something to really mull over.
Definitely food for thought.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the IDPS market. We hope you feel more informed and ready for what's next.
Have you ever stopped to think about that invisible battle, the one happening constantly right now in the digital world? It's this relentless race, protecting our data, our critical systems from cyber threats that just keep changing, keep evolving. And honestly, being informed about this space, it isn't just for the IT pros anymore. It's really crucial for you, whether you're running a business, protecting your own info, or just, living in this connected world. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. In today's deep dive, we are really zeroing in on a critical slice of the cybersecurity pie, the intrusion detection and prevention systems market. You'll often hear it called the IDPS market. Our mission really is to pull out the key insights from the sources we've reviewed, give you a shortcut sort of to understanding why this tech is becoming so vital.
Yeah, and what's really striking is the sheer urgency behind it all. The rapid growth in this IDPS market, it's driven by necessity. I mean, cyber attacks aren't just more frequent, they're getting way more sophisticated. Organizations are realizing these tools, they're not optional anymore, they're essential. Just think about it for a second. You've got ransomware hitting financial institutions, crippling them. Phishing attacks tailored, specifically for remote workers, or even these zero-day vulnerabilities, the ones nobody knows about until, bam, they're exploited. We're seeing them threaten public infrastructure. Our sources are showing that organizations are now fighting attack windows measured in hours, not days, hours. So that makes real-time detection, real-time mitigation, well, it's just non-negotiable now. It's a fundamental shift. IDPS tools are playing this absolutely indispensable role, protecting data, preventing really costly disruptions, minimizing recovery costs, especially in key areas like banking, healthcare, critical infrastructure.
But that's the direct threat response, right? The immediate pressure.
Yeah.
Are there, like, other big forces pushing organizations towards IDPS beyond just fighting off those attacks day to day?
Exactly. Yeah, there are definitely other big currents here. Two stand out. First, you've got the whole regulatory and compliance landscape. It's getting tighter and tighter. Think about frameworks like GDPR, for data privacy in Europe, or HIPAA for healthcare data in the US, PCI DSS for payment cards. These rules are constantly raising the bar for data security. They demand real-time monitoring, careful incident handling. So IDPS tools, they don't just protect, they provide that crucial visibility, the audit trails, the documentation you need. That helps companies avoid, well, frankly, massive fines and serious reputational hits.
Okay, so regulation is a big stick, essentially.
Pretty much. And second, it's this massive wave of digital transformation and cloud migration. Businesses are moving fast, shifting operations to the cloud, and when they do that, the old idea of a secure perimeter, it just dissolves, it expands dramatically. So your traditional defenses, the ones focused on that old perimeter, they're just not cutting it anymore. This is where cloud-integrated IDPS platforms become central. They're needed to spot malicious activity across these hybrid environments, these distributed setups, think remote workers, decentralized infrastructure. It's not just about protecting the office network now, it's about every single access point.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely critical, almost like table stakes now. But it can't all be straightforward, can it? What are some of the main roadblocks, the challenges holding back wider IDPS adoption, especially maybe for, say, smaller companies?
That's a really important question because, yes, despite the clear need, there are definitely hurdles. A major one, particularly for SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, is simply the cost, both getting it set up and keeping it running. Our sources suggest, maybe surprisingly, almost 40% of SMEs still lack comprehensive IDPS. Often, it's not just the upfront price tag for the hardware or the software licenses. You also need constant updates, patches, and maybe most importantly, you need skilled cybersecurity people to manage these systems, to interpret the alerts. That makes it a consistently expensive thing for businesses with tighter budgets. It's not a one-off purchase.
Yeah, I can see that. For a small business owner listening, that ongoing cost, needing specialized staff,
Yeah.
that sounds like it could be a real barrier, not just the initial price, like you said.
Precisely. And then beyond the cost factor, there's the issue of false positives. These systems, intrusion detection systems, they can generate a lot of alerts. And many times they aren't actual threats, they're just noise. This leads to something called alert fatigue in IT teams. They get so swamped with these non-critical alerts that, well, the real dangerous ones might get missed, tragically overlooked. Tuning these systems properly so they can tell the difference between normal traffic and genuinely malicious stuff, that's complex. It takes time and resources.
So you could end up drowning in alerts and miss the one that actually matters.
Exactly. And finally, you've got integration challenges. Many organizations find it difficult to mesh these new IDPS tools smoothly with all the IT systems they already have. You run into compatibility problems, or you get these data silos where important security info is stuck in one system and can't be shared easily with others. Plus, there's often a lack of standardized APIs, basically, ways for different security tools to talk to each other effectively. That really limits the overall picture and slows down response times.
Okay, so we've got the why it's essential and the why it's hard. Makes sense. But the market isn't standing still, right? Despite these challenges, things are obviously moving fast. There are powerful trends driving change. So let's get into those innovations. What do they mean for the future of digital defense? We want to make sure you get the full picture here.
Absolutely. And the evolution is fascinating. A really powerful trend is bringing AI and machine learning into IDPS. Instead of just relying on old school signature-based detection, looking for known attack patterns, AI and ML let IDPS do more behavioral analytics. What that means is the system learns what normal looks like on your network. Then it can spot subtle anomalies, weird deviations that might signal a totally new threat, something nobody's seen before, long before a signature even exists for it. It's like spotting someone acting suspiciously rather than just looking for known criminals from a wanted poster.
Wow, okay. That feels like a huge step up.
Ugh.
Moving from recognizing known bad stuff to potentially identifying or even predicting completely novel attacks. What else is changing the game?
Another really big shift is the practical move towards cloud-based security services and managed services. You hear terms like MDR, managed detection and response, or MSSPs, managed security service providers. For companies struggling with those high costs and staffing issues we talked about, especially SMEs, this is huge. Instead of building and managing their own complex, expensive IDPS setup, they can basically subscribe to a service. These cloud platforms offer scalability, flexibility, and crucially, access to expert security teams who monitor and manage the IDPS for them. It kind of democratizes access to top-tier cybersecurity.
That makes a lot of sense. It directly tackles those cost and expertise problems, doesn't it? Makes serious security much more attainable for more businesses. Okay, and where else are these IDPS solutions pushing into? Any other major areas?
Yes. The third really key trend is the expansion of IDPS to secure the Internet of Things, IoT, and Industrial Control Systems, or ICS. We're talking about everything here. Smart grids, connected medical devices, the operational tech running a smart factory, you name it. These environments have their own unique vulnerabilities. They need specialized IDPS that understand non-traditional network protocols, different kinds of devices. So it's not just about securing laptops and servers anymore. It's literally every connected thing that could potentially be an entry point for attackers. The attack surface has just exploded.
Right. Okay, so bringing this all together, what's the bottom line here? We've dug pretty deep into this IDPS market, and it feels like it's really at a turning point, becoming, I guess, a fundamental piece of enterprise security.
Yeah, what's really insightful is seeing how it all connects. The adoption is driven so strongly by, one, the sheer escalation of cyber attacks frequency and sophistication, two, those ever-tightening regulations like GDPR, HIPAA, the compliance pressure is real, and three, the huge expansion driven by digital transformation, cloud adoption, distributed workforces. And yes, while those challenges we mentioned, cost, false positives, integration headaches, they definitely still exist.
But the market is clearly adapting. It's evolving fast because of these powerful innovations. We're seeing AI and machine learning come in for that proactive behavioral detection. That feels like a future direction. There's that very practical shift to cloud and managed services, making it accessible. And then the crucial expansion into securing IoT and industrial systems, that's huge, covering everything from smart grids to medical tech.
And if you zoom out, look at the bigger picture. What this really highlights is that effective security today, it's not about building static walls anymore. It's about developing intelligent, adaptive systems. Systems that can spot anomalies, learn, and protect these incredibly complex, interconnected environments that are always changing.
That really sets up an interesting thought for you listening right now. As AI gets smarter and smarter, and pretty much everything around us gets connected to the internet, how might the role of IDPS change even further? Could it move beyond just detection and prevention? Could it become a truly predictive force in cybersecurity, safeguarding not just big companies, but maybe potentially every part of our connected lives? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay secure and stay informed.